Miami. July 2024. 88 degrees Fahrenheit, and the air conditioning in our Brickell apartment was barely keeping up again. I was coming home after another 12-hour shift at the hotel where I worked as a manager. My name is Patrick, I'm 32 years old, and I thought I knew everything about Paris, the woman I'd lived with for 8 years. She's a furniture designer, talented, with hands that could turn an ordinary chair into a work of art. We met at a design exhibition in 2016, and it was love at first sight. At least that's what I thought. Our daughter Nicole had just celebrated her 5th birthday. She had Paris's eyes, green like the ocean off Key West, and my smile. Every morning I took her to daycare before work, and Paris picked her up after lunch because her work schedule was more flexible. In the evenings we taught Nicole the alphabet, read fairy tales, and I felt this was exactly the happiness I'd dreamed of. Our 2-bedroom apartment cost about $450,000, and I'd bought it before we started living together. Paris contributed to the renovation and furniture. She's a designer after all, so our place looked like something out of Architectural Digest. White walls, minimalism, wooden accents, plants everywhere. I earned about $73,000 a year, she made approximately $57,000. Together we were a solid team. Or so I thought. Last fall, Paris started going to networking events more frequently. Design conferences, exhibitions, meetings with potential clients. I supported her. Career is important, especially in competitive Miami. She'd tell me a day or two in advance, pack a bag and disappear for the evening, sometimes overnight. Events run late, better to stay at a friend's place, she'd say. I didn't doubt her. In June of this year I decided to surprise Paris. I bought her Tiffany gold earrings for $1,200, she'd been eyeing them for a while. I gave them to her for our anniversary, sometime in mid-June. She was delighted, hugged me, kissed Nicole. Everything was perfect. But a week later, I noticed the earrings weren't in her jewelry box. I asked, she said she'd taken them for repair because one clasp was loose. 3 weeks passed. No earrings. I asked again. Patrick, I lost them, okay? Sorry, I didn't want to upset you, she replied sharply, and there was a note of irritation in her voice I hadn't heard before. That's when I started paying attention to the little things. The Michael Kors watch I'd given her for her birthday, gone. The Chanel Coco Mademoiselle perfume that cost $250, also disappeared. When I asked about the watch, Paris said she'd left it at the gym and they couldn't find it. About the perfume, that it had spilled. Something was wrong. Very wrong. In July, when Paris was added to my insurance plan through work, I gained access to all medical bills. Usually I didn't check such things, but after the disappearing gifts, something started bothering me. I logged into the system online, opened the history, and saw what turned my life upside down. A bill for an abortion. March 2024. Clinic in Coral Gables. I reread it 3 times. Abortion. For months ago. I didn't even know she'd been pregnant. My hands were shaking. I scrolled further, there were other entries. STD test. February, April, May. Regular, every 2 months. Why would you need such regular checks if you're in a stable relationship? I sat in my office at the hotel, staring at the laptop screen, not understanding how to breathe. Nicole was at daycare. Paris was at work. Everything looked normal, but I just learned that my life was a lie. I called my brother Ruben. He's a lawyer, works in Fort Lauderdale, always been my rock. Patrick, calm down. Breathe. Tell me everything in order, he said. I told him. About the missing gifts, about the abortion, about the tests. Ruben was silent for 10 seconds. Brother, she's cheating. It's obvious. You need a lawyer. And you need evidence. All you can gather. Photograph the bills, save everything. Don't tell her anything until you're ready. The next 2 weeks I lived in a parallel reality. During the day I was regular Patrick, hotel manager, father, partner. In the evenings when Paris fell asleep, I became a detective of my own life. I checked our joint bank account, the one we both contributed to for shared expenses. And I found it. Transfers. $24,000 over 11 months. Small amounts. 300 here, 500 there, 1,000. Descriptions vague, cash, personal, transfer. I started writing down dates, comparing them with her networking events. They matched. Every time she went to conferences, money disappeared from the account. One evening when Paris was in the shower, I took her phone. I knew the code, Nicole's birth date. Opened Messenger's email. Nothing suspicious. But then I saw an icon I didn't expect, Tinder. The app she was supposed to have deleted 8 years ago when we started living together. I opened it. Messages were deleted, but the account was active. Photos of Paris, new ones from last year. Description, designer, love art and the ocean. My stomach turned. She never deleted the app. All these 8 years. I called Ruben again. I need a lawyer. The best one you know. 2 days later I was sitting in the office of Bridget Thompson, one of the toughest attorneys in family law in Miami. She listened to my story, reviewed the evidence. Patrick, you have everything. Medical records, financial irregularities, active Tinder account. You're not officially married, but 8 years of cohabitation with a child is like common law marriage in Florida. We can get primary custody of your daughter and most of the property. But first I need to know, who is he? Who? The lover. We need a name. I didn't know. Yet. That evening Paris was getting ready for another event, again. It's a presentation of a new furniture collection on a yacht in Miami Bay. Important clients, possible contracts. I'll be back late, she said, putting on a black dress I'd never seen. On a yacht? Sounds luxurious, I replied, trying to stay calm. Yes, the organizers love to impress. Don't wait up for me. She kissed Nicole, took her bag and left. I waited 5 minutes, put Nicole in front of cartoons and opened the tracking app I'd installed on our shared family plan a month ago. Paris didn't know. I said it was for safety in case someone lost their phone. Her dot was moving. Not to Miami Bay. To the Kimpton Epic Hotel. I knew this hotel. We sometimes collaborated with them on orders. 5-star with a bay view, rooms starting at $400 a night. My heart was pounding. I called Ruben. She's at a hotel. Right now. Don't do anything stupid, Patrick. Just observe. Record. I wrote down the address, the time. Her dot stayed there for 3 hours. Then moved home. She returned at 1 in the morning, quietly undressed and lay down next to me. I pretended to be asleep. The next day I went to Kimpton Epic. I knew the administrator. We'd been at a hotel conference together. I asked casually if he'd seen a woman, described Paris. Oh yes. She came yesterday with a guy. Tall, athletic, dark hair. They booked a suite for the evening. Why do you ask? Just curious. They look like a couple I know. They looked very much in love, if it's that couple. I thanked him and left. So there's someone. A specific person. The following days I gathered information. Checked transactions again, found receipts from restaurants. Prime 112, Zuma, Komodo. Expensive places where dinner for two costs $300 to $400. Dates matched her outings. One morning, when Paris left with Nicole for daycare, I accessed her laptop. Same password, Nicole's date. Open Gmail, found the deleted folder. There were emails. From Kristopher Anderson. Kristopher. Video editor. Works for a production company in Miami. The emails were intimate. Meeting plans, photos, words of love. He called her my goddess, she called him my savior. One email particularly struck me. Paris, I know it's difficult for you. He doesn't understand you like I do. Soon you'll be free and we'll be together. Forever. Date, September 2023. Almost a year ago. I photographed everything. Every email, every photo. Sent it to myself, deleted the traces. That evening Paris was especially affectionate. She cooked dinner, played with Nicole, smiled at me. I looked at her and saw a stranger. Patrick, is everything okay? You seem sad, she asked. Just tired. Lots of work. You work so much. Maybe you should take a vacation? Maybe. The next day I met with Bridget again. I laid a folder of evidence in front of her. Kristopher Anderson. Video editor. Affair has been going on for about 11 months. They met on Tinder. The abortion was his, I'm sure. The dates match. She got pregnant in December, abortion in March. Money went to hotels, restaurants, gifts for him. Bridget reviewed the documents, nodded. We have everything for the case. Custody will be yours. Abortion without your knowledge, infidelity, financial irregularities. Property too, apartment in your name, you contributed more. We can get 70%. Ready to start? Yes. But I want more. Bridget raised an eyebrow. What exactly? I want her to lose everything. Not just me and Nicole. I want her to lose him, her job, her reputation. Everything. Bridget smiled. Not kindly. Then we need a plan. And you need another lawyer, Howard Mills. He specializes in more complex cases. A week later I was sitting in Howard Mills's office. A man in a $3,000 suit, with gray temples and eyes that had seen everything. Patrick, Bridget told me your story. You want justice. I can give it to you. But it won't be cheap and it will be brutal. Are you sure? Absolutely. Then let's begin. The plan was multi-staged. Phase 1, legal. File documents for property division and child custody. Bridget would do this unexpectedly when Paris least expected it. Phase 2, professional. Howard knew people. Kristopher worked as an editor at a production company that collaborated with hotels to create promotional videos. I had contacts. One call, and the company's management would learn about the unethical behavior of their employee. Phase 3, social. Paris worked with many clients through personal recommendations. If someone found out about her unstable personal life. Is this legal? I asked. Technically, yes. We're not lying, we're just sharing the truth with interested parties, Howard replied. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click like if you enjoy this story. I always read your comments and analyze which stories you like best so that I can create better stories. Thank you. I will continue the story. I struck the first blow in August. Bridget filed documents for custody and property division. Paris received the summons right at work. She came home confused, furious. Patrick, what is this? Why did I receive court documents? Because we're breaking up, Paris? What? Why? I looked at her calmly. Kristopher Anderson. Tinder. 11 months. Abortion in March. $24,000 from our joint account. Should I continue? Her face turned white. She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. Patrick, I can explain. Don't. Everything's already explained. You have 2 days to take your things. Nicole stays with me. You can't take my daughter. I can. And I will. I have evidence of everything. Infidelity, abortion without my knowledge, theft of money. The court will be on my side. Paris started crying. Real tears, not theatrical ones. Patrick, please, I love you. Was a mistake. I'll end it with him, I promise. We can fix everything. You don't love me, Paris. Maybe you never did. Otherwise you wouldn't have done what you did. She tried to hug me but I stepped back. 2 days. Take your things and go. Paris went to Kristopher. I knew I was tracking her phone. She spent the night there. The next day she came back for her things. Nicole was at Ruben's. I didn't want my daughter to see this. I struck the second blow a week later. I called the director of the production company where Kristopher worked. Introduced myself as a hotel manager they'd collaborated with. Good afternoon, this is Patrick Malone from Ocean View Resort. I wanted to discuss a delicate situation. Your editor, Kristopher Anderson, had inappropriate relations with a partner of one of our clients while working on a project. This created a conflict of interest and problems for all parties. I thought you should know. The director thanked me for the information. Kristopher received an official warning. Not termination but a stain on his reputation. The third blow was worse. Howard had contacts in the parent groups at Nicole's school. Through casual conversation, several mothers learned about the situation with Paris. Infidelity, abortion, court case. Information spread like wildfire. Paris started receiving cold looks when she came to pick up Nicole. Some mothers openly turned away. One even said to her face, "How could you do that with a child in the house?" The fourth blow was the most painful for her. I called Paris's parents. They lived in Orlando, conservative family, deeply religious. I told them everything, about the infidelity, about the abortion, about Kristopher. Her mother cried on the phone. Her father was silent, then said, "She's no longer our daughter." They disowned Paris. Completely. The fifth blow came unexpectedly. I created an anonymous blog. No names, but with enough details for people in Miami design circles to guess. Designer who destroyed a family through Tinder. The story went viral. Comments were brutal. Paris started losing clients. One by one they canceled orders citing change of plans or budget issues. In reality they just didn't want to work with her. Kristopher was suffering too. I used my connections in the hotel industry to inform other production companies about an unethical editor. He started losing contracts. Projects were closed, calls went unanswered. In September, Paris called me. Her voice was trembling. "Patrick, stop. Please. I'm losing everything." Good. That's exactly what I wanted. Kristopher left. He said he doesn't want to deal with all this situation. With the court, with the child, with the problems. He just disappeared. Doesn't answer calls. Sad. My parents disowned me. Friends too. I lost half my clients. Patrick, I understand I was wrong, but this is too much. Too much? You had an abortion without telling me. You stole $24,000. You cheated for almost a year. And now it's too much for you? I thought he loved me. Kristopher promised we'd be together, that he'd help me. But he just ran away. I'm left alone. It's called consequences, Paris. You made a choice. Now live with it. In October, the trial took place. Bridget presented all the evidence. Medical records, financial irregularities, correspondence, photos. Paris's lawyer tried to fight, but he had no chance. Verdict: Patrick receives 80% custody of Nicole. Paris sees her daughter once every 2 weeks under supervision. Property divided 70-30 in Patrick's favor. Paris must repay part of the stolen money. When the verdict was announced, Paris sat with her head bowed. Didn't cry. Just sat. I took Nicole and left. Didn't look back. In November I bought a new house. Small but cozy in the Coconut Grove neighborhood. With a garden for Nicole where she could play. She asked about her mom, but not as often as I feared. Dad, why doesn't Mom live with us? Because sometimes adults can't live together, sunshine. But Mom still loves you. Do you love Mom? I love you. That's what matters most. Paris saw Nicole every 2 weeks. She'd pick her up on Saturday, they'd spend the day together, then she'd return her. Nicole would tell me they went to the park, ate ice cream, drew pictures. Paris was trying to be a good mother in those short hours she was allowed. One day when Paris brought Nicole back, she lingered by the door. Patrick, can we talk? Quickly. I want to apologize. Really. I know I destroyed everything. I know I lost you, Nicole, my parents, my job. Everything. And I understand I deserved it. I looked at her. She really did look different. Not physically, just empty. Like something inside had gone out. Apologies don't change anything, Paris. I know. But I have to say it. Kristopher he was an illusion. I thought he was giving me what I didn't have with you. Passion, adventure, the feeling that I was alive. But in reality he was just using me. And when everything got difficult, he disappeared. But you were real. You were family. And I threw it away. Yes, you did. Will you ever forgive me? I don't know, Paris. Maybe someday. But not now. And not soon. She nodded, turned and left. I closed the door, returned to Nicole. She was sitting on the couch with a book. Dad, will you read to me? Of course, sunshine. I sat down next to her, hugged her, opened the book. And in that moment I realized, I really had lost Paris. But I gained something much more important. I gained the truth. And I gained a future for my daughter where she wouldn't see lies as normal. Paris lost everything. Me, Kristopher, her parents, her career, friends, respect. She lives now in a small studio apartment in North Miami, works freelance, barely makes ends meet. Kristopher disappeared. Some say he moved to Los Angeles, others, to New York. He didn't care. He was looking for entertainment, not responsibility. And me? I'm building a new life. With Nicole, with a new house, with new opportunities. Sometimes I think about what could have been if Paris hadn't cheated. But then I look at Nicole, how she laughs, plays, grows, and I understand, everything happened the way it was supposed to. Trust is a foundation. When it's destroyed, the house falls. Paris destroyed our foundation with her own hands. And I just helped her see the consequences. Today I'm happier than I was then. Not because I took revenge, but because I no longer live in a lie. Thank you for watching this video. YouTube may no longer suggest my channel to you, so subscribe to it to receive new interesting stories. You will also help the channel grow and improve the quality of its content. The screen now displays a playlist with other interesting stories that you can listen to. You can also write in the comments what stories you would like to see on the channel.